final opponent in the Kanto Classic from Illinois, United States is Ports. Now, I should say last recorded battle, because of course I'm going to do the full 30 battles that you can do, but I'm only going to show 3 of these, or 3 of these to you. So we see Aerodactyl, Blastoise, Alakazam, which is definitely one of the problems that my team has to face. We don't really have much of an answer for Alakazam. We also see Dragonite, Machamp, and Jolteon. So these are all going to be a problem. No, I shouldn't say all. This Alakazam is going to be the problem. So best way to deal with that, I want to slow it down and hope that Blaze can outspeed with a Shadow Claw. Now Machamp is not the way to slow that thing down. Sheldon's going to be the way to go. The only thing he has to fear on this side of the field is going to be that Jolteon. So I'm going to lead with Sheldon. And the Jolteon could be a lead and they can go for the Volt Switch, of course. But if we do see the Jolteon, I can always send in Sprout to take the electric type attack. That does give them switch priority to try to switch into something that we're going to be weak to with Sprout. But we got to see how this plays out and take it turn by turn. So as I was saying, this is the last recorded battle I'm going to upload to the channel. But of course I'm going to play the full 30, but by showing these 3, then I'm going to get my hands on that rare Lance's Dragonite as a giveaway that has the barrier attack. So here we see Aerodactyl. Now Thunderfang could be a problem. That I believe is the only thing we have to worry about from this Pokemon. So they are most likely going to swap out. And I think our best bet, we're going to go for the Bulldoze, slow down whatever comes in. Dragonite could be the problem. And if they swap that in, like I said in the previous battle, I can always go for Avalanche on the following turn. So we're going to try the Bulldoze. See, so they do withdraw their Aerodactyl, as expected. In comes Jolteon. Excellent, you're going to take a super effective Bulldoze attack. Alright, so we're going to slow it down. Now, we're not going to outspeed this Jolteon after one Bulldoze with our Blastoise. And we know electricity is going to be a problem. So I can either swap into Sprout or perhaps Zapdos. But again, as I say, whoever I swap in, they're going to be able to switch somebody else in super effective against our Pokemon using that Volt Switch. So if they do Volt Switch with Sheldon in, they can swap in something that's going to be immune to the ground attack. So, I don't know, it's a tough call. I'm going to go into Sprout. Based on the opposing team, I don't think Sprout has that much to really contribute to the team this week in this battle. But you can at least take this one hit for us. So we're going to see, there's Thunderbolt actually, so I'm not going to swap out. Now, unless they have hidden power, ice, or fire, or something like that, they're not going to leave this Jolteon in. This gives us a free turn to get the light screen up. There's the hidden power. Now we are specially defensive-ish. Yet we handle that pretty well. Now we're going to get the light screen. So was that ice? I want to say ice because a lot of people would run an ice-type hidden power for their Jolteon. Given that, who would be our best one to swap into? Well, definitely Sheldon. He's going to resist the ice attack, and thanks to the light screen, he should be able to take a Thunderbolt pretty well. So Sheldon's actually coming back into battle against this electric type. So we see they stay in, otherwise we would have seen them swap first because of the higher speed. Alright, and they go for the hidden power again. Now, ice or fire, of course, will resist both. Look how little that did. So, again, we can just go for the Bulldoze and slow it down, but I think we can go for the Stab Scald. Because they might swap into a flying type, knowing that we have Bulldoze. So they actually stay and go for a Thunder Wave. Now, they have slowed us down. Of course, that's not that big of a problem. Sheldon wasn't trained for speed, but can we break through? Yes, we break through the paralysis. We get the Scald off. Not very powerful, but we get the burn! Excellent! The burn will slowly whittle away at this thing. Alright, so since they have a possible hidden power ice, and we do see electric moves as well, I want to keep Sheldon. The Bulldoze is definitely going to be useful. I believe our best bet, we're going to let Arbok take a hit. He might actually outspeed after that one Bulldoze as well. Alright, Arbok. I don't want to waste your Intimidate on a special attacker like this, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Looks like they might be swapping themselves. They do, actually. If they go into a physical attacker, we can get the Intimidate on it. Machamp, excellent! Now, of course, Machamp could have Earthquake. but we will lower the attack with the Intimidate. If this is a Guts Machamp, I'm not going to like that too much. So first things first, I want to see what they're going to go for. I'm going to go ahead and fire off I'm going to activate a Substitute. Get ourselves nice and protected. They're going to go ahead and Dynamic Punch. So it is no guard. Alright, so we don't have a Ghost type. We aren't going to be able to resist that Dynamic Punch from anything. We saw the power was enough to break the Substitute on a single hit. So since it doesn't have Guts, I'm assuming it doesn't have Guts, Dynamic Punch is 50% accurate. It still has a chance to hit regardless of no guard. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to fire off a Glare attack. Paralyze this Machamp. So that's 2 status conditions on the opposing side. Alright, Dynamic Punch is going to confuse us. We handle it pretty well. Now I can bring Arbok back to preserve the Intimidate, which I'm definitely going to do. Who would resist the Dynamic Punch the best? I believe Sprout has probably done the most he can for this fight. And he's going to resist the fighting type attack, so I'm going to bring Sprout in. And on the following turn, I'm going to risk the confusion from Dynamic Punch and put the light screen back up, because I'm pretty sure it just fell. Now, of course, this could be fully paralyzed this turn. And it is! Excellent! You know what? I think I'm actually pretty clear to throw a Leech Seed up right now. Let's go with that. Did they have a Grass type? I don't recall, but I don't think they did. They might withdraw this thing. Looks like they might be doing that. Yep, withdraw. So Machamp escapes back to the Pokeball. In comes Dragonite. Alright, Leech Seed. Let's get back some HP. So they could go for the Dragon Dance right now, which would be an issue. So there's no reason to get a light screen up. This thing is not going to be special based offensively. I'm going to go back into Arbok immediately, get another Intimidate drop. Looks like they're going to stay in as well. So this is good. We got the Leech Seed still active. We'll Intimidate this thing, possibly take a hit from whatever they're going to go for. But as I said, they could Dragon Dance. Ice Punch. Can we take that? Barely, but we do. I can Glare this also. Now, what is it? There's an ability this thing can get. Something scale. Marvel Scale? I don't know. I think they can get something that actually increases defense if they have a status condition. But I can't really go for Substitute. Poison Jab could get off some good damage. Could paralyze this thing. Well, Machamp can probably floor this with his own Ice Punch. I'm going to get off as much damage as I can and go for the Poison Jab. It doesn't matter, they go Extreme Speed. But the Intimidate, I don't know. Nope, not quite. Down goes Arbok. Alright, so, like I say, I can go for the Ice Punch, but I can send Sheldon in, probably resist whatever attack they're going to go for, and go for Avalanche. Problem with that is we are paralyzed and we might not actually land the hit, so I'm actually going to bring Machamp. I'm going to go for the low sweep first, just to make sure this Dragonite is slower than us, and go for the Ice Punch next. And if they swap out, then we can get some speed drop on anything else they send in. Alright, they're going to withdraw the Dragonite, so whatever comes in is going to lose some speed, which is good. And it's the Blastoise. Now, we don't have anything super effective for you, unfortunately, but how much will this low sweep do? Decent. Not perfect, but... So, Ice could be a problem from this thing. I think swapping into Zapdos might be our best play. He'd be weak to any Ice move they go for, but then... I'm actually going to bring Sprout back in and see if we can get another Leech Seed up. So they could be predicting the Grass type and go for an Ice move at this point. Alright, let's see what they did. Scald. We're going to take that easily. Do they burn us? They do burn us, which is definitely not the best thing. So I think our best contribution for Sprout is going to be to get the light screen up, because we are going to outspeed after that low sweep. I don't think they're going to keep this thing in, of course. There goes the Blastoise, escaping back into its Pokeball. In comes the Dragonite. So the light screen is going to fire up. It's not going to really affect this thing at all because of the physical offense it has. But on the off chance that we can actually do something, I'm going to throw another Leech Seed at it. Because, although you know what? Sprout might be good to send in and just let him drop to another attack. So if I actually swap him out, who would I want to go into? We've lost Arbok. We can't Intimidate anymore. I think we're going to go defensive. We're going to bring Sheldon in at this point. We will save Sprout to take a hit for a later turn when it's more beneficial. Because Extreme Seed is probably the way they're going to go with this thing. Alright, Dragon Dance. Could have definitely got a nice Leech Seed off there. However, now is the time to go for Avalanche, because they're not going to pull this thing out. They are immune to our Bulldoze, and they can go for a physical offensive move. We are quite invested in defense, of course, maxed out special and physical defense. So we're going to Avalanche and hope we can break through Paralysis. What did they just go for? What is this? Dragon Tail. Alright. Now, something randomly swaps in. It's going to be Zapdos. I am pretty sure Zapdos is going to outspeed this Dragonite. So, the obvious play is to go for Discharge. They could actually bring their Jolteon in and take that with the Volt Absorb. And here I'm second guessing. This is the opponent that had Jolteon, is it not? So I'm going to go ahead and substitute. See what they go for. No, they're going to stay in. So we do outspeed though. And do they go for... They go for Dragon Tail. So they connect. Going to break the sub, but we actually stay in with Zapdos. So I don't want to go for another substitute. They can just keep breaking that with the Dragon Tail. I'm going to go ahead and fire off that Discharge right now and hope they don't swap Jolteon. Now they outspeed. So the Dragon Dance is a problem. And there's nothing we can do to slow this thing down. Machamp is at full HP, so he's probably our best bet to take a hit here. Although, Sheldon might be the way to go. He will resist that Ice Punch. Extreme Speed shouldn't take him out of this range. And the Dragon Tail will go after his Avalanche, so I'm going to bring Sheldon back in and go for another Avalanche. If this thing has Thunder Punch, then of course we have just lost our Blastoise. But let's go Avalanche and see how this plays out. Extreme Speed. Come on, you only got one Dragon Dance up, that's not going to do enough. It did enough. Down goes Sheldon. So, that leaves us with the only option to go for Machamp. Try that Ice Punch. So we saw Extreme Speed, Dragon Dance, Ice Punch, and Dragon Tail. I don't think Extreme Speed won't get the KO. Ice Punch might, but I doubt that. So I'm going to go ahead and just Ice Punch. Yeah, Ice Punch. I was thinking Low Sweep, but they're not going to swap this thing out. Looks like they might be swapping this thing out. Come on, stay in, take this Ice Punch. You've been dishing them out enough yourself. You want to see what it's like on the other end, I'm sure. Come on, carefully selecting what to do. If they do swap out, they're going to lose that Dragon Dance, but I don't think it makes that much of a difference at this point, unfortunately. It'll be something if they swap in their Alakazam right now and get frozen. So here's the Extreme Speed. Yeah, we handle that quite well. Ice Punch is going to drop the Dragonite. So our first knockout, we're definitely losing at this point. We've lost 3 of our Pokemon. We only took 1 of theirs down so far. And the Alakazam can easily come in and start sweeping up the rest of my team. Which I'm not looking forward to, but I'm quite anticipating that's what's going to happen. There's that Alakazam. Now, this is the moment I have to send Sprout in to take this hit. Because our only hope is on the following turn for Blaze to get a good Shadow Claw, which I believe has a high critical hit ratio. I might be wrong on that. But Sprout is taking this hit right now. The opponent goes for Protect. And letting the burn. Okay, that's fine. So, now is the moment Blaze takes the field. He's at full HP. I'm fairly certain Alakazam can't get Thunderbolt, but they can get stuff like Charge Beam, I believe. Some sort of special-based electric move I'm sure they can get. And don't think they get anything rock-based or water, so we're okay there. I'm going to go Shadow Claw and hope for the best here. Now, Psychic is just plain power from an Alakazam. Now we survive it. Can we get off enough damage with this? We take the Alakazam down with a critical hit. Yes! That was one of our biggest problems on this team, is that Psychic type. Not to say that the match is over, of course. It is far from over. We're down to just Charizard and Machamp, and the opponent has 4 Pokemon left on their side. We're going to send their Blastoise next. Now, can Machamp take a hit? I don't think at the HP he's at. No, he's at half HP. We're going to go down. I know that for a fact, but I'm going to go ahead and fire off a Thunder Punch on this Blastoise to get off as much power as we can. And with any luck, we'll either get a critical or paralyze, or perhaps both. Or neither. So down goes Blaze. Alright. Everything rides on Machamp at this point. Is he going to outspeed this Blastoise? Even if so, Low Sweep is the most powerful move we have, so we're going to go for that. We are not invested in speed by any means, so this could go either way. No, they outspeed us. Now, Scald probably will get the KO, but if not... No, they got the KO. And if they didn't, they could have got the burn, which would have activated Guts. But either way, we lose this one, but we had another fun one. Good game, Ports. This was fun. And so that brings us to the end of my video coverage of the Kanto Classic online competition. I had a real blast with these battles. It was so fun getting to battle against Pokemon that you don't get to see every day. For example, Hitmonchan and Exeggutor I encountered on some opposing teams, and although I did defeat them, that might explain why you don't always get to see them online, but it's still cool to see some classic Gen 1 Pokemon at the forefront of some of these Wi-Fi battles. Now, I do want to give a shout out to a fellow Pokemon trainer by the name of Sarin, or Saren, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but on Twitter, they had actually put the thought in my head about Minimize Clefable. Now, that's something I hadn't really considered, and they said that they feared Minimize Clefable could have been everywhere in this competition. Clefable are pretty defensive on special, or both the special and physical side, and with the Minimize attack, they're going to be able to evade a lot of moves. Now, originally on my first draft for the team, I was considering putting Bullwinkle my Tauros. I like him for the Intimidate, plus he can get a decent physical offensive moveset of Headbutt, Iron Head, and Wild Charge are some moves he tends to run usually. But when Sarin mentioned Minimize Clefable, I thought, actually, Arbok might be the way to go. Arbok can get the Intimidate as well, and I can also go with Haze and eliminate all those stat changes. And it came in so handy, and I did manage to encounter a number of Minimize Clefable on the opposing side, about maybe 5 or 6 in the entire competition, and every single time, as soon as Arbok came in, they were setting up with Minimizes and things like Calm Mind or Cosmic Power, getting up the defenses even more. One Haze attack brought all those stat changes away, and you better believe that that Clefable retreated back to its Pokeball pretty quickly. Or if it didn't, it took a pretty powerful Poison Jab attack. Now, I feel a little bad that I wasn't able to complete all the battles. As far as I understand, online competitions allow you to have up to 30 battles during the duration of the contest. Now, I didn't actually pay careful attention to when the competition was coming to a close, so here it is Sunday night as I'm recording my final thoughts, and I missed out on the final 4 battles that I could have done, but I did manage to complete 26 battles over the course of the weekend, and we actually came out with 13 wins, 13 losses. So we broke even on the win-loss ratio, and my rating was a little above 1,500 by the end of it, which was actually pretty cool. So we actually did encounter some hardships. I've learned a few things from the battles that I have to consider for my next competition that I get into. For example, Shell Smash kind of destroyed my team on at least 2 occasions, I think just the 2. An Amistar, as I recorded in one of the videos, and later on a Cloyster as well with the Shell Smash. And I didn't really have very many answers for that. Once the speed stat got up, like I was trying to keep their speed at a tolerable level using my Bulldoze and Low Sweep strategy, but they still managed to just get the Shell Smash up enough and outspeeding my guys and just kind of sweep my team. And another thing that I knew going into this competition was going to be an issue was Psychic type. Now, I had 3 Pokemon on the team weak to Psychic. That was my Venusaur, Arbok, and Machamp, and I didn't have anything resistant to it. My best bet would have been Sheldon the Blastoise with his defenses, but even that wasn't a sure thing. And the idea was to have him use Bulldoze and slow down a Psychic type, possibly outspeed with Blaze the Charizard and go for Shadow Claw, but it didn't always work out that well. Another thing I realized partway into the competition that I didn't really consider for the team, speed priority. I didn't have anything like Quick Attack or Sucker Punch or Aqua Jet on my team, so in the next competition I take part in, whenever that's going to be, I'm going to try and keep the priority in mind, probably get at least 2 of my Pokemon with a speed priority attack. Now, hopefully it's not going to be too long before the next online competition occurs in which you can use the older Pokemon that don't have the blue Pentagon. Because as I've said on my channel, my main Pokemon collection comes from Fire Red and Sapphire and all the the Game Boy Advance games, advancing up through the DS game, well, Pearl, not Diamond and Pearl, but Pearl is one that I had, and going through the Black and White series and stuff. So I've got a lot of older Pokemon that I like to really show off in the online competitions if I can. And unfortunately, a lot of the times you actually need the blue Pentagon, which means the Pokemon needs to have been captured or bred in one of the Gen 6 games. But anytime there is an online competition where older Pokemon from the transporter are going to be permitted, I do want to take part in those because although I do weekly Wi-Fi battles here on the channel, somehow the online competitions to me feel more important or more impactful, you know? It's like as if there's more on the line that you have to strive towards. Now, of course, you do get a participation prize for the competitions, but you don't need to win anything to get that prize. You just need to compete. But either way, I'm looking forward to some future competitions, and as soon as another one comes along that I can use my older Pokemon, I'm definitely going to consider putting a team together to jump into that one. Now, regardless, I did manage to complete at least 3 battles, which is going to get me that rare Pokemon, Lance's Dragonite, with the barrier attack, to add to my collection of rare Pokemon. So that's actually pretty cool. So with that, I'm going to end off this video here. Thank you everybody for checking out the online competition, the Kanto Classic, and my video coverage with the 3 battles today. And I'll catch you next time.